Congressman Ron Paul, who has steadfastly preached small government, maximum individual liberty, and the government shouldn't be giving your money away, joins us now. Congressman Paul, welcome back. It's your first time with us after the election. Welcome back to Brian and the Judge.
Thank you. Nice to be with you again.
Congressman, first off, did the right guy win?
Oh, I don't know whether there's a right or wrong guy. I wasn't for either one because I thought they supported the same policies, both domestic and international. I don't see a whole lot of difference, so I don't know whether I'd pick right or wrong at all.
Why do you think there was such obvious movement in the direction of Barack Obama that it wasn't as close as the Republicans had hoped?
Well, I think the movement toward Obama was a good move in the sense that what he said he stood for sounded a little bit better. He was the peace candidate. He was the one that was more likely to end the war in Iraq, even though I think that is not going to happen. But I always believe that the peace candidate wins. Bush won in 2000 because he was condemning the Democrats for Bosnia and Somalia. So I see that as good, and he talked about change, but I don't think there's going to be any change, but at least he represented the change. So the American people responded to the superficial approach of the campaign, and I guess we could claim a minor victory there, but too bad we're not going to see any of those results.
Congressman, do you agree with this statement that there's more goodwill for this new president than anyone in recent memory, and some have concluded because it's the size of the challenges, his race, and just the way he holds himself and presents himself?
I think that's all pretty true, but I recall when Kennedy won, and of course back then it was the challenge of a Catholic becoming a president, and he was young and he had problems to face and all. So there was a lot of excitement then, but I think this one competes with it or might even surpass that, and I don't think there's anything bad about that either. I just wished we had more sound answers to our economic problems and a real discussion about civil liberties and foreign policy. I don't think he's going to do anything to soften the stand of the Patriot Act, some of the things that the judge has been talking about here for years about how our personal liberties are being abused here at home. So I think some of these moves are done for the right reason, but I don't have high expectations.
Congressman, what will become of the Republican Party on a national level? Let's start with the Republicans in the House. When the White House is occupied by a Republican, we know the history. There's a tendency of even conservatives on Capitol Hill to go along with what the president wants, whether it's the federal takeover of education, whether it's the federal takeover of Medicare prescription drugs, whether it's the federal takeover of AIG and certain banks. But when there's a Democrat in the White House and the Republicans are in the minority, is it sort of liberating, if you will?
Well, it is, and they're going to be doing much better. They did that, prior to 1994. They spoke very well about limited government and personal liberties and balanced budgets. But as soon as they had the chance to do something, they forgot all about it. So no, they're going to be more conservatives, even in this last couple years since the Democrats have been controlling the House. All of a sudden, I'm not on the outs with my fellow Republicans. When the Republicans were running the House, I always had to vote against their budgets. They were all too big. But now, all of a sudden, I don't know whether I'm voting with them or they're all of a sudden voting with me, but there's not the friction between what I'm trying to do and what the Republicans are trying to do. But it was too little, too late, and they've lost credibility. It's going to take a long time to build credibility, and I don't think the Republican Party is going to disappear. The big question is, what is it going to stand for? Are they going to just be Democrat light, or are they going to really be a constitutional party? And that's what I wish they would be. But right now, it looks like it's going to be a very tough job getting them to change some of these positions, although in the past, there's been times when they did stand for limited government, personal liberties, and non-interventionist foreign policy. This is all not, I didn't create these ideas. These are all originally with Republican parties, and certainly they're with the Constitution. So hopefully we can make the Republican Party a constitutionally oriented party instead of just going along with the Democrats.
I know how powerful successful you are. I watched your grassroots campaign come from nowhere to everywhere. I know how passionate your supporters are. And I brought this up to the judge. He didn't think it was feasible. I want to ask you. I thought in the 11th hour that John McCain, the only thing he could do to win, well, probably the only thing he could do to win, because Barack Obama wasn't making any mistakes, was to go up to Congressman Ron Paul and say, Ron, what do you want? Him adopt some of the policies that mean the most to you and join forces. Has that ever been discussed? What do you think about that?
No, it's never been discussed. I've never contemplated it, and I'm sure John McCain never contemplated it. There really wasn't much to offer because
you're both Republicans, and you have a long history with your own party.
Yeah, but would he have considered talking about the Federal Reserve? He'd have lost credibility. I would have said, don't dare go back and vote for that bailout. Go back and filibuster it. And yet all these things are locked in place because